Hey everyone, welcome to my stream of 3D animation critics, and today we're going to be taking a look at Are You With Us? It's actually a short one, 2 minutes and 18 seconds. You guys cannot see it because I am blocking your view. The thing is, actually I was intending to put this towards the later part of the stream, where I will be combining critiquing this with other shorter animations about Overwatch from Blizzard. But then I decided, why not just do it anyway, like just follow the timeline, the sequence, and do it. So as a result, I actually have not prepared for this at all. So let's let this critic session address the question that I posted the last time. Would you guys prefer me to prepare, or would you guys prefer me not to prepare? So this will be a good contrast for you guys. And right now, let's get into it. I'm going to increase my streaming volume. Give me 1 second. And then increase Windows volume up to I think 60. Let me just go nuts on the streaming software volume. How about negative 3.4? 3.4 should be good. And I think this time I won't be disappearing off screen. I think I'll just lean back and disappear. It's just 2 minutes anyway, so I can just lean. I'll be muting my mic, of course, and muted, and you will see, well, once I mute, you guys will see the video soon in about 10 seconds.
Is this on? I made a chronal accelerator. I'm sure I can do this. To all agents of Overwatch. That's not right. To the former agents of Overwatch. This is Winston. Obviously. 30 years ago, the Omnics declared war. The nations of the world had no answer until they called upon a small group of heroes. Overwatch was created to rescue humanity from the Omnic crisis. We became the greatest champions of peace and progress mankind has ever seen. You were chosen because you had powers and abilities that made you... You joined because you... You already know this. Look, the people decided they were better off without us. They even called us criminals. They tore our family apart. But look around! Someone has to do something! We have to do something! We can make a difference again. The world needs us now, more than ever. Are you with me?
Oh. Yo. Let me readjust the volume and back down to 20. I would say this is a very well done animation. I've only got one critic. Is it this one?
To all agents of Overwatch.
Yeah, this one. It doesn't look like his eye is actually looking at us. It's a little bit too split between the left and right eye, especially the left eye. It doesn't look like it's looking at the camera, us. The right eye, even though it looks as it's very close to looking at the camera, but I don't feel like it is looking at the camera, as opposed to other shots. This one very clearly is at the camera, at us. You have here at us at the camera. It's only in this shot. It looks a little bit weird. So this is my only critique for this animation. So stream's over. There's nothing else to say. Good night, everyone. Turning off the stream right now. Wow. I mean, this animation is very well done. Way too well done. I mean, probably owing to the fact that it's short also, like 2 minutes. So there's very, I wouldn't say little room for error. Like there's less opportunities to make mistakes. I just have one question. What is he saying at the start? Oh, is this on? Like how a newbie, someone newbie to vlogging will like sort of ask, even though it's kind of like a dumb question already, but it adds on a comedic effect. Like the guy really doesn't know about his technology, his tools at all. And I noticed one thing at the start. Yeah, this one. I want to read what this is saying. From top down of the page, my big speech to all agents of Overwatch and the supporting staff around the world. This is Winston cancelled out. You probably know that I'm not used to PUBL public speaking. Plus, I tend to overthink things, and I'm a bit of a what the heck. I can't read that, so I'm gonna skip it. And and something I bamble. And sometimes I bamble. So let's go back to the word that I skipped. P-E-P. I can't figure it out. Let's look at the last few letters. N-I-S-T. Oh, perfectionist. So here's a trick. If you cannot figure out a word, read the first and the end of the word. You'll be able to piece it together very well. So here's his big speech put together as smooth as I can to all agents of Overwatch and the supporting staff around the world. You probably know that I'm not used to public speaking. Plus, I tend to overthink things, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and sometimes I bamble. Not bad for a draft speech. So when a character is eating, it's very difficult to animate it. So I would presume that they cheated by hiding the food. That means Winston is very highly likely chewing with no banana in his mouth. So it's a fake chew. It's just done to avoid really tough animating food. Really tough, the really tough process of animating food. Like you want to bite off food, you want to chew food. Oh, it's a huge headache. Even if you have physics in the animation software process it for you, relying on physics is not a very good idea.
Sean, I made a chronal accelerator. I'm sure I can do this.
Psyching himself up that he has achieved huge advancements in his research or development. Hence, he should be able to do something as small like speech. The thing is, it doesn't apply to me. I don't understand something like this, but public speaking is the number one fear of a lot of people. Like, I think there was a research done that public speaking, the fear of public speaking is actually higher than the fear of death. So if you were to put it into a perspective, like if you attend a funeral, there are way more people that would rather be in a coffin than to deliver an eulogy. It's ridiculous. I don't know what's up with the fear of public speaking, because I don't have it, so I can never understand what the fear is. If somebody can enlighten me, then feel free. But from what I can think of is probably fear of embarrassment, fear of screwing up, fear of feeling like an idiot, maybe. I'm not too sure, because I am very comfortable with public speaking or presentation. But I'm not comfortable with spontaneous things. That's my weakness for sure. So something like this, critiquing animations to a public audience like this, where actually critiquing animation is not too bad. But if you were to talk to me in real life and you crack a joke or you say something witty that I need to respond to immediately, I fail at that. I'm very slow. So spontaneity is not my strength. Preparedness is my strength. Ahmad Victoria Kuram.
I made a chronal accelerator. I'm sure I can do better. Chronal accelerator. I made a chronal accelerator. I'm sure.
What can I critique is good. It's good. Critiquing animation is not about finding fault. As I mentioned in the first stream, it's also about pointing out good and strengths. So this animation is just so good, I have nothing bad to point out except for that eye contact that I mentioned earlier.
I made a chronal accelerator. I'm sure I can do this.
And look at the detail to the paper flap. Oh, nice.
Chronal accelerator. I'm sure I can do this.
Ooh.
To all agents of all. To all.
Equipment dropping, not too common unless you are outdoors. But indoors it can happen if you don't tighten the screw your equipment enough, then sometimes it may drop. But if you're outdoors, then the risk of something falling over is way higher. Like if you have a camera that is as big as an arm, one gust of wind from the side and the whole thing will just topple. Don't underestimate the force of nature. Like even if you have equipment that weighs, I don't know, 10-20 kilograms, a gust of wind can knock things over very easily. So this falling over thing again is to add comedic effect, which is done very well. I mean, it fits the context here that Winston is even though he's sort of like this scientist monkey who has done great developments, but he's just not used to camera work. Boom. It drops down, and yeah, good attention to detail. Notice the screwdriver, the Allen key. What the heck is this? Some sort of a computer plug. Keyboard banana skin, and I'm not too sure what this thing on the right is. Yeah, what on the right here? Not too sure what they are, but the position changed from the first part changed from here. Did it or did it not? It doesn't look like it did. Seems like an illusion to me, huh? So Allen key is pointing to 5, 11, 12 o'clock. So let's check. Hey, where are you?
To all agents of all.
I think the position changed. Or did it not? Where is that part again? I don't think the position changed. So it's more like an illusion to me that this is not a legit critic then. Yeah, so the position of the keyboard, the Allen key, the screwdriver pointing direction, the banana, and I don't know what this thing is, they all actually didn't change position, but it looks like it did because of the camera angle change. So I fell for it, which is a good thing. Like, you can make work without doing work. Good. So move on, there's nothing to critique here, because I thought position change, so it's a good thing, but turns out that nothing actually changed, so it's fine. 1-800, I don't know what that thing is. Should be an Overwatch thing.
To all agents of Overwatch.
So this one over here, what is trying to be portray is like he's putting in a lot of effort. All of a sudden he's finding bravado within him, and then he finds, like, immediately click in his mind that it's not working.
Watch. That's not right. To the former agents of Overwatch. This is Winston. Obviously.
So in this third instance, he's trying to make light of the speech, so cracking a joke. This is Winston, haha. And then he finds that it doesn't fit, so it's kind of like a fail for him also.
Winston. Obviously.
Just look at the
Overwatch. This is Winston.
just look at the paper flap.
This is Winston.
So the paper flap, there's two possibilities of this animation being done. One is hand key. That means it's done manually, which is not too difficult. If you know the principles of animation, you basically can hand key everything, even down to leaves flying in the wind. You have entire tree. If you want to animate every single individual leaves, you can do it. It's just that now with technology, we can use physics to help us. And this paper can be driven by physics, but for the amount of resources that will go into 3 pieces of paper, I would think it's more likely that the paper flap is hand keyed than simulated by physics.
Former agents of Overwatch. This is Winston. Obviously. 30 years ago.
And one thing very sweet is you notice his eyes. They're always doing the snap movement. As I mentioned in the past streams, your eyes generally don't stay in position very, not say very well, but it's not too natural to have your eyes be in the same position. Like even now, when I'm trying to look into the camera lens, I can feel my eyes are actually, going left, right, a little bit left, right, and top, a little bit down. So this is the way your brain is wired. You have a blind spot, and your brain automatically wants to counteract to compensate for it. So it keeps your eye moving. If you've never seen your own blind spot, you can actually go onto the internet and just Google like blind spot tester or something like that. It's supposed to be like a still image, and then you need to like keep your eye on a cross, and then you move your head, and then you will see the circle disappear. That is your blind spot. Or you Google something like finding your blind spot, you should be able to do it. But after the stream, after the stream.
I can do this. To all agents of Overwatch. That's not right. To the former agents of Overwatch. This is Winston. Obviously.
Yeah, did you see the very small minuscule movement of his eyes? Like it snapped right. He's right. Just a little bit, just a smidge.
30 years ago, the Omnics declared war. The nations of the world had no answer until they called upon.
A very good composition here. Like I've said multiple times, the human eye will stick to the center whenever a new scene happens. So I don't know about you, but for me, my eyes immediately landed in the middle of the frame and I see this thing. But as I look around, I notice the positioning for every other single character in this image, still image here, is directed to the center. You have this guy looking to the left, directing in that direction. So when you look at him, you will see, oh, what is he looking at? To his left, it draws your attention to this big thing in the middle. Same thing with this guy falling down over here. His eyes are gazing upwards. Maybe you can argue that for this first guy on the right, how should I even say this, man? Screen left, because I don't like saying screen left character right. So, but I think in this context, it's fine saying screen left. So you can argue that his eyes are actually somewhat looking down. So probably more like looking at this leg claw thing, almost grabbing this guy. But his general positioning of this character is looking left, which will direct our attention here. So it depends on what you see first. You may either this thing catches your attention or this thing that catches your attention based on the arrow, the direction of his gaze, the direction of the head, left turn, and a left down gaze. So this second guy, he's looking upwards, either at the robot thing or more likely the leg claw is about to get him. This guy falling down here is not too obvious. He can almost be forgotten, but again, the way he is positioned is he's directing your gaze to the leg again. And maybe, if you will, the hand is sort of like in this direction. His arm, his forearm, and then his hand is a little bit twisted up. But this one, the hand thing is much weaker of a directional guidance, but it's more of the body positioning and the head positioning that points to the center. And lastly, you have the girl looking off to the right. You may want to think, is the positioning trying to direct our gaze to the right, which is not possible because she's at the edge of the screen. But then you think she's running away from what? People tend to run in the opposite direction of what they're running away from. So if she's running to the right, then she must be running away from something from the left. Again, directing your attention, your gaze back to the center of the screen. Very good composition here. And things falling out of a purse, that's just like added details. Nothing much else to say. Same thing over here. You have some kind of Reinhardt. It may be Reinhardt, I don't know. So his positioning is actually kind of like a good line of action as well. You can see his line of action is pointed to the right of the screen. So it directs your eye to the right. This guy, is this Reaper? In the human form Reaper, I'm not too sure about the lore of Overwatch. Then he is looking to the right, firing to the right, gazing, like putting attention here. This soldier guy here, he's shooting to the left, directing your gaze here. And is this Torbjorn up here? Torbjorn is a little bit more questionable, but you can still see generally he's looking at this thing over here, which I don't know why would be an enemy, because is that Ana? Yeah, this should be Ana. This turret thing is an enemy. So you can see that even though for this like I said, your eye would want to look at the center first, but all elements here, 1, 2, 3, 4 here, they're all pointing your direction into this thing. So that actually is the focal point of focus, which is quite in the middle. So it still fulfills the human psychology kind of thing. But actually for this shot, for some reason, my eye went to the left first, which is this Reinhardt guy. Maybe because I like Reinhardt, I don't know.
Created to rescue humanity from the Omnic crisis. We became the greatest champions of peace and progress.
And again, this is plain obvious. Your attention snaps to the center. Every single character at the side, they're looking into the center. So some characters I recognize here is you have Tracer. Not too sure who this guy is. You have Winston, you have Anna. Would this be Soldier? Mercy? Not too sure who this guy is. And not too sure who this guy is. McCree? Yeah. So this one again, very self-explained. Like your attention should just go to the center. If you want to look at the other characters, they are just like decorations.
Mankind has ever seen. You were chosen because you had powers and abilities that...
This one isn't more of it doesn't contain the element of drawing your attention to a certain direction, but this is more of just showcasing the character as they are, shot from bottom up to give a sense of superiority to all the characters that are here.
You joined because...
Join Overwatch today. The text here, it says join Overwatch today, which I left. Oh yeah, I didn't actually listen to the text, to his speech here.
30 years ago,
Let me just...
declared war. The nations of the world had no answer until they called upon a small group of heroes. Overwatch was created to rescue humanity from the Omnic crisis. We became the greatest champions of peace and progress mankind has ever seen. You...
The visuals and the speech being delivered, they all sync up in terms of their delivery, which is a good attention to detail. Not surprising coming from Blizzard. So good storytelling is you generally would want audio to be in sync with the visuals as well. You don't want to have something said that doesn't fit the visual unless the situation calls for it. Cannot really think of any examples that would call for that sort of desync. Is there one? Nah, I can't think of any. So I'm just gonna go forward, and if I do think of anything, then I will mention it as and when it comes up.
Years ago, the Omnics declared war.
The Omnics declared war. Emphasis on the war part. Good.
War. Omnics declared war.
War.
The nations of the world had no answer until they called upon a small group of heroes.
A small group of humans. Then it flips to this image, this scene, and then it says Overwatch. So you probably can guess that this bunch of people over here fighting this one turret should belong to Overwatch.
To rescue humanity from the Omnic crisis. We became the greatest champions of peace and progress mankind has ever seen. You were chosen because you had powers and abilities that made you... You joined because you...
So for this, he's probably reading a script. Maybe he has written the entire script already, and then when he says, what did he say over here?
You chosen because you had powers and
You were chosen because you have powers and abilities
abilities
that made you. So at this point, that made you, maybe he's looking, is what I'm thinking is happening is for Winston, he's reading his script and then he realized what's coming after that made you is too corny, too lame, so he wants to improvise on the spot. So hence he like overrode his own speech by saying the following sentence.
You joined because
You joined because you. Then he got a mind block. He don't know what else to say. So he's like, screw it. So a little bit of despair because there is also a passage of time being shown here. It started 102. It started out bright. Then you will see it transition to evening, and then now it's night. So he must be really tired of doing this also. Hence is in like sort of despair, exasperation, if you will.
you already know this.
Yeah.
Look,
And over here, it's a switch. It's a mental switch for him. Like his internal dialogue is like, let's just ditch the script and just say what I want to say. So, whoa, somebody is saying hello. Ilya Station for Games, hello. Thanks for tuning in. So, right now, Winston is saying, like, coming from the bottom of his heart, like this entire part is not scripted for him at all.
the people decided they were better off without us. They even called us criminals. They tore our family apart. But look around.
Just look at his eye movement as he's delivering this heartfelt speech. If you want, just look at nothing but his eyes. You will see the small details, the small movement that I've been talking about.
The people decided they were better off without us. They even called us criminals. They tore our family apart. But look around. Someone has to do something. We have to do something. We can make a difference again. The world needs us now, more than ever. Are you with me?
Are you with me? So, very good emphasis on his speech.
We can make a difference again.
We can make a difference. So his emphasis on difference rather than we can make a difference. You know, there's always different ways you can deliver a message, and how you emphasize on each word makes a difference. You can say, what was his?
We can make a difference again.
So the sentence is, we can make a difference. You can say, 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 we can make a difference, as he would say. Or if you want, you can actually even emphasize on a. We can make a difference. You know, each iteration, like each way of putting the message across, sends a different message across. It sends a different connotation, a different message. Wow, is there another word I can use in place of message? It sends a different meaning across. Like if you emphasize we, you're emphasizing the teamwork, the camaraderie, your comradeship. If you're emphasizing on the word difference, you're emphasizing on the word difference. If you emphasizing on the word can, that means you're coming from a position of weakness into strength. You have a mental switch, moving into a position of power, like you want to instill some sort of a mental shift to convince people who have been trained to be helpless. In psychology, there's this thing called learned helplessness, where you just resign to your fate. So it stemmed from a really cruel experiment. Like, it will never be allowed ever in modern times, where there's this guy, I forgot the name, he left dogs in, like, should I go on continuing to describe it? Oh man, it's probably a little bit too painful for a lot of people. Might be painful, but so the thing is, he left a dog, or is it a few dogs, in electric cages. Then he would just like repeatedly shock the dogs from the dogs in the electric cages, and then initially the dogs of course would react. They would want to run away from the cage, but there's nowhere for them to run. And then this guy just kept shocking the dogs, and after a while he found that the dogs eventually decided not to run at all, so they'll just receive the shocks. Like, they get shocked and they're just like, whatever, I'll just take it. So they do yelp in pain, but then they make no effort in running away, because through the previous experience they have learned that they're helpless in the situation, so they won't even try to fight or run. So learned helplessness. So if you want to emphasize on the word can, we can make a difference. It's like you're trying to brainwash and to bring whoever you're telling the message to that they actually have the strength, they have the ability, they have the capability to do something. So words are really powerful, depending on how you deliver, what word you choose to use, what words you choose to emphasize on. So in this case, Winston wants to emphasize on the word difference. So I guess to him, what is salient, what is important to him is making a difference.
The world needs us now. More.
So again, he emphasized the world needs us now. So you can hear two points of emphasis. He actually emphasized on the word world a little bit, but his emphasis on the word now is a lot stronger. So you can probably try to link the two together. We can make a difference. The world needs us now. Make a difference now. Maybe you can link these two messages together this way. It's possible, but that may be overthinking things. But that is one possibility in terms of message behind the psychology of someone, which in this case is no doubt digital character. He's not real, but don't forget there are script writers behind, there are sound designers, there are animators behind this character. So like when you're watching a film entertainment, specifically, especially one that is fully 3D, where it's all like fake or virtual, don't forget that there are real people behind them that is driving these characters.
We can make a difference again. The world needs us now.
Oh, I actually missed one word again.
The world needs. We can make a difference again. The world needs us now, more than ever. Are you with me?
Are you with me?
More than ever.
Okay, the taking off of the glasses, I would very much prefer that instead of going my glasses are a little bit difficult to take off. Let me cheat a little. Instead of going down and then to the side, I would very much prefer it to come off the side immediately. But it's not possible in this animation. Why? Because if he were to do that, the reason is because there's no space for him to do it. Owing to the shape of his face, how big his hands are, so the animator has to cheat a little by going down first before he can pull off to the side. And good detail, as he pulls out to the side, his head comes up back up to the left to complete the movement. You can just watch here. Whoops.
Needs us now more than ever.
Yep. So imagine if he were to pull the glasses off to the side, you will see that the hand is gonna block his face. Yeah. And because his mouth being is he a gorilla or a chimpanzee? I'm not too good with monkeys, so I think it's a chimpanzee. I don't know, a monkey. So because his mouth is a little bit protruding to the front, if he were to do this, high chance his hand is going to cut into his mouth. Cut because in the virtual space, there is no object collision. Like, there's no way my left hand can penetrate and go in front of my right hand. But in terms of when you're animating in 3D space, you can very easily make the two objects pass each other. So that's what we will call penetrate, the object penetrating each other, or cutting if you want to term it that way, if it's easier for you. There are situations where you might want objects to penetrate, but in this case, sure, the penetration can occur, but for the sake of composition, no way is the director going to allow a hand block the entire face. So hence, pull the glasses down first, and then to the side a little. So this is when he goes to the right a little bit, and the head lifts up to the left to complete the motion. So take his glasses off with eyes closed. That looked funny for a bit. It's like a kind of like a heroic moment for him. And as he's nearing this completion of the movement, open his eyes, give a powerful, strong stare into the camera, and then say, "Are you with us? Oh, are you with me?"
Are you with me? More than ever. Are you with me?
Whoops. And just look at the face, very strong facial expression. And I like it how he's all of a sudden he's exuding a lot of confidence. Look at how his mouth, his lips were originally like around here, but he ends off with like a smirk.
Are you with me? With me?
I mean, take a look at his face as opposed to him at the start.
I can do this. To all agents of Overwatch. That's not right. To the former agents of Overwatch. This is Winston. Obviously.
Yeah, see the change in Winston? You can practically see two Winstons in this single animation shot. The front one is I would caution against saying having inferiority complex, but maybe he does feel a little bit inferior, like, a little bit scared of his speech, his big speech. But when he when he dumped his prepared speech already, and he's speaking everything from his gut, from his heart, his countenance changed, his spirit changed to be stronger and more confident.
Now, more than ever. Are you with me?
Yeah, so it's a good reflection in life also. Like, even though preparedness should bring you a lot of victories, but there are times where preparation will stifle you instead. So I would say that is something linked to like paralysis by analysis. I'm not sure if this is just something like that came out of psychology or something that psychology hinged on. Is a phenomenon where if you analyze too much, you end up doing nothing. So why not just ditch everything and go for it? So this is something that Winston is portraying here. He ditched his preparation and just went impromptu, went spontaneous from his heart, and he delivered a good one. I don't think this is part of the animation, like part of Winston's message, but it just fits the animation. This is more of like a advertisement for the game Overwatch, like to sell the game by showing the different characters. Overwatch. Okay, yeah, so this is the end of the critique. I mean, this is really well done one. Like I said in the beginning, there is only one thing over here, which is this eye contact over here, which looks a little bit weird to me. It doesn't seem to be right at the camera. That I find a little bit upsetting, but the rest of it all, well done Blizzard. So I'm gonna be opening the time up for questions if there are any, while I try to think of the situation that I brought up where you might want a desync in the audio and visual. Just gonna sit here and think while waiting for any comments to come in. I have about like a 10-second delay, so I'll wait. But otherwise, after a few minutes, if there's nothing, then I'll turn the stream off while I think. Is me? Veronica? Is me what? That monkey and I? What do you mean by that? I'm sorry, Veronica, I don't understand what you just said. Is me, that monkey and me? Shed more light. Explain a little bit more while I try to think of the situation that I put up. I think the one situation where you wouldn't want the audio and visual to sync up too much is when you are trying to achieve telling by not showing, telling without showing. But then again, is that really congruent? The very same. I apologize, man. Veronica, I really don't understand what you're trying to convey here. I mean, I appreciate the effort in trying to communicate with me, but I'm just not getting it. If somebody can help her, if somebody can help her out, then sure, by all means go ahead. But at this moment in time, Veronica, I don't know what you're trying to tell me or what you're trying to ask. Is you, that monkey, and you the very same? Yeah. I think, yeah, thank you, Andy Lim. I think that's like, I read it like a few times and then I think I'm getting a message. Yeah. I would think that the Winston, the monkey, is quite the same as I. In terms of, actually, is it? No, actually, I think we're opposite. Winston and I were opposites. Winston is bad at preparing speeches, while he is good coming from the heart. While I am good with prepared speeches, but bad at spontaneity coming from the heart. I don't know. This is just the way I feel. Having done streams for quite a while, and also having done public speeches and having done speeches and presentation, I think don't have. How about this? This looks like a good one. Hero poses. Having done speeches and presentation, I think I fare in that a lot better. Prepared speeches than spontaneous, while Winston seems to be better with spontaneous ones than prepared. So yeah, I'm trying to think, like, is there a situation where you want a desync between audio and visual? I just cannot come up with any at the moment in time. Maybe horror? I don't know. Maybe you have a character in the middle of a house or a dark hallway, and then you all of a sudden, like a cheap jump scare, you have like pots clanging in the background, and then the character is like, the character jumps. God, that's pretty congruent as well. Oh, I do look similar to Winston in that freeze frame. Really? Do I? Which one? Which freeze frame was it? Was it this one? Do we look similar? I mean, I can't see. Maybe a little. Yeah. Yeah, so Veronica, if you're trying to say that visually we look similar, yeah, probably. We probably do. But in terms of like delivering speeches, I think we're polar opposites. Guess who Joe it? Again, I have no idea what you're saying, Veronica. Guess who Joe it? Is this like a troll? Joe Mama. Guess who Joe it? Joe Mama? No idea at all. I think, are you like not an adult? I mean, not in terms of maturity, but like literally, this might be a young child trying, like, stumble upon my stream and trying to communicate with me to the best of his or her ability. That's one possibility. I think this might be someone who's hasn't grasped the language yet, or maybe English is not your first language. But thank you for your effort. Just watching video, play game. Yeah, right now what we're doing is we're watching animations shots released by Blizzard for the game Overwatch. So you can say that we're watching a game, but not technically a game. So this has nothing to do with gameplay, but more of the introductory animation shots that Blizzard has released surrounding the game. But it's good. It's good that I'm able to communicate. Got more viewers today. I've got EAS Station for Games, Veronica, Andy Lim. Andy Lim, thanks for tuning in. This is a familiar name. Thank you for your support. Continue video. Nah, there's no point in continuing the video because it's the end of the critic already. So, so yeah, if there's nothing else, then I would turn the stream off a little bit shorter, a little bit ahead of time, 6 minutes ahead of time. Stay tuned. Next, this is the 28th. I'll be streaming. Yep, there shouldn't be any disruptions to my Monday stream. But if you're here from my gaming stream, Next week I'll be streaming on the 27th, but on the 4th of October I will not be streaming because I'll be away. Yep. So everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is Vampyreq. Stay tuned next week, same time at 8 p.m. Singapore time, GMT +8. If you're elsewhere in the European countries, that'll be in the afternoon. If you're in the US, you gotta wake up really early to do it. But in any case, thank you, my viewers, and I'll see you guys next week.